Good afternoon. Thank you for listening in on the HackRPI GitHub workshop. I am Bryce, the Junior Director of Technology of the HackRPI organizing team. So far, I hope your projects have been going well and you've learned a ton and have stayed productive up to this point. This workshop will hopefully give you a thorough understanding of the basics of Git, how to use the tool, and how to develop more projects more efficiently. Let's jump right into it. So what is Git and what is GitHub? Git is a version control system to allow for seamless collaboration without compromising the integrity of the original project. And GitHub is a online system allowing you to see all of your Git repositories in one spot. So why should you use it for your project? It allows for an easy way for developers and programmers to collaboratively work on their code. And as I just stated, the most primary feature is the version control system. So let's start setting up the environment with Git. All links are going to be in the description below. So you can go to gitscm.com/downloads and start the download for your specific operating system. Feel free to pause the video if you need, if the installation takes some time. So while the download is taking place, you can go ahead and go to github.com/sign up in your favorite browser. Here, you will be brought to the sign up page. And be aware that there is an education version of GitHub, a link will be in the description, that has expansive packages that are a great deal for your GitHub account. That is also available. So I already have an account, so I'll go to sign in and go ahead and put in my credentials. Excellent. So I am now ready to use GitHub in my browser. I have Git downloaded on my computer. And then for the IDE that I use during my hackathons, I use Visual Studio, and I'll be using that during this workshop. So I have Git, the Git CMD terminal that has been downloaded along with Git, github.com in the browser, Visual Studio, and then the GitHub desktop that will be able to provide confirmation that my command lines worked, and that can be also downloaded from the description below. So your environment is now set up, and so now you can move into the first idea of, we'll do a quick tutorial of how to create and initialize your first repo. So we'll go through the steps. We will configure the new repo. We will add members for security of the repo. We can clone the repo to the computer, and then we'll upload the first files. So let's configure the new repo now. So go back to GitHub, then you'll want to go to New Repo. Then you'll use a repository name, and I'll choose Walkthrough Tutorial, and the description is a fun, cool, awesome project as the description. I am going to make my repo private so that I can show off the security later in the tutorial. You also have the options of adding a README or a git ignore file, or choosing a license if you have very valuable code. And then you can go ahead and hit Create Repository. So you've just created your first repository. Then I'm going to go ahead and go to Settings, and the next step is adding collaborators to your repo. So it was private, and it is private now. So you go to Settings, and you can go ahead and go to Manage Access. So you can see it's private. Nobody has direct access other than you. So you can go ahead and add people as a collaborator. There's a nice search system that helps you if you know your partner, your teammates' names. And then you can go ahead and add them to the repository. See a pending invite of whether they accepted, and that is always great. So we've configured the new repo, we've added new members. Now we want to clone the repo to your computer to be able to have a local version for excellent collaboration. So let's do that. You want to clone to your computer here. So you can go back to code, very useful, and then you'll want to pull up and I'll start from scratch here. You'll want to pull up your git command prompt, and then you want to go into the directory that all of your GitHub directories work. And so first you'll want to clone the GitHub repository. So this is a very useful HTTPS link here. So you want to do git clone and copy and paste this link and put that right in there. And then you can see a process will pop up to confirm your login credentials. Right now, that's not going to work for me. My credentials are buggy with my local computer. So you can carry on and continue through that way. I am going to confirm it with the GitHub desktop and show you how you can do it that way. So you have the GitHub desktop. So go to the top left here, go to Add and Clone Repository. And then you have that repository that you just created. So Development Guru, for me, it was walkthrough tutorial. And if you see any issues, you can just choose that repository that you just created and then get rid of that git ignore file that's there. Once you do that, you'll have a fresh palette, and then you can go ahead and hit clone. So you've just cloned the walkthrough tutorial, and you're ready to get started. You have now configured the new repo, added security, and cloned it to your computer. Let's upload your first files and initialize your main branch. So using your command line, I will break out of here. Oh, cancel. Break out of that. Git status. Quite a few files there. Let's go ahead and jump right into that path. Now that I've cloned it, let me go ahead and make sure that everything's set up. So walkthrough tutorial. And so I am getting an error in the walkthrough tutorial. And the error here, I'll just clone again, just to confirm that it's working. And so sometimes that happens. And now you can see the walkthrough tutorial repository that I have here. Now I can jump right into that. And then I can do my initialization that I did above. So once you confirm that the clone was complete, and you can check that with your GitHub desktop, or you'd be able to see it through your GitHub commands if your credentials are correctly hooked up. And that's excellent. So I'll go ahead and continue that README, and then I can check my directory. I now have a README. And so you can actually check this with git status is a amazing command that Git has. And you can see that you now have an untracked file that needs to be committed. And that is the README file right here. So excellent. You've now uploaded your first files. So now I want to initialize the main branch, the master branch. And this is very important. So let's go do that. So let's just run through git init again, reinitialize the existing Git repository. And now if I check, I still have that README file. So let's go ahead and git add. And this git add adds README to the repository. So git add, I can use the period to add all the files that are untracked and uncommitted. So I did that. And then I want to go ahead and make it an official commit with a description. So then I can use initialized README as the description and send that all over. If I confirm it by running git status again, I can see there's nothing to commit. I have a working tree that is clean, and everything else is up to date. Now I want to go ahead and create my new branch and push main all the way through. And excellent. So we can see that I'm on my main branch and it's clean. So now we'll go through and do another one of the one-time core commands, and that is git remote add origin, and then you can go ahead and copy and paste right from that helpful code page on your GitHub. And here I receive confirmation that my remote origin already exists, and this is helpful to because of my desktop configuration. Then I'm going to go ahead and use git push u origin main to push the main branch all the way through. And again, I'm having credential issues on my computer today, but I'll go ahead and do that in the GitHub desktop. So I'll go ahead and I'm in the current branch, main, and then I'll publish this branch to GitHub. And so that does it for you. You now have a main branch, and now you can see your README version changes all the way down. So there's the README file initialized, and then the description that I added. Excellent. So you've now uploaded your first files and initialized your main branch. Congratulations, you're all set with your first repo. So let's walk through your core commands. You had git init and git remote that were one-time commands used to help set up your repo on your computer, initialize the repo and get it ready for version control, and create a remote connection from your local computer. We use git status to check how many unmarked and untracked and uncommitted files there are on your local device. We used git add to add all of the untracked files and uncommitted files in. You can use git branch to create a new branch. So let's actually go check out git branch and git checkout right now. So git branch is the GitHub command that you would do to create a new branch. So git branch, and then you go ahead and give the name. So I'll have a dev branch. And then you can see I'm still in branch main. Git checkout is a switch command to be able to switch from the current branch that you're in into any other branch. So git checkout, I want to move right into dev. So I switch the branch to dev. And so now any changes that I make and push, I can be in the dev branch versus being in the main branch. Now, if I want to do that all in one switch and create a new, I just do git checkout dash B and then whatever my name is going to be. In this case, I'll do prod. And I switched to my new branch and it was created. So that covers git branch and git checkout. So now you have git commit. And this was a confirmation after you use git add. As you know with the README, you can go ahead and commit your changes. So let's do that now. I'll go into my VS Code that I'm using for my hackathon. I'll open the folder, I'll go right into my GitHub repositories, and go to walkthrough tutorial that was just created. So it shows up in your file explorer, it's excellent. So let's say you have a new file, hello world.py. Go ahead and initialize this file, print hello world. Go ahead and test the main with the guard. So you can see that there are untracked files, and that is the hello world.py. So you can go ahead and test this commit and add. So git status is how you check in to see how many are uncommitted. Hello world.py is not committed, so I'll do git add as we learned before, add all, and then you want to go ahead and make that a commit. Git commit initialized hello world py file. Then you want to confirm again with git status, and that was pushed to branch prod. I have nothing to commit, and I have a working tree. So as you can see, with that switch to the prod branch, I made those changes in branch prod. So that covers it. You have now covered all of the initialization git commands. Then we covered branch, checkout, commit. Or so actually, let's check out push now. So right now the changes are on my local computer. And so you want to use git push. And this proves that everything is up to date. And so that pushed all my changes that were in the prod branch all the way up so that my teammates can now see the changes. And I'll confirm this with the GitHub. Yeah, so this would be the correct command. It's git push set upstream origin prod. It'll ask you for your credentials. In this case, I will just publish this branch to GitHub and confirm that. And then I'm also going to publish the branch in dev just to make sure that everything confirms on my end. And so now I should have 3 branches, and you can confirm this by going to GitHub, and you can see that I do have 3 branches now. You have a main, dev, and prod, and you can see that prod was just updated. So excellent. You now have your core commands set in place, and then you can confirm them with GitHub Desktop. Excellent. So let's go through a tutorial and a general workflow. So now you have a basic idea. Let's do that all in one job. All right, so let's jump right into it. So first we'll check out a new branch. So as of now, we are in the prod branch. You can check that with git status. Okay, so I guess I should be in the right, not username prompt. And then I can go ahead and use git status again. And I'm in the branch prod. I do want to use git checkout to go to dev before prod. So I want to switch to the branch dev. Now I want to, as we're following the steps here, now I just want to do my work. I want to work on the hackathon and do my stuff. So let's do that now. So you open up Visual Studio Code, and then, interesting. So this is an excellent example of where you're actually in a different branch now. So hello world.py is not going to come up in your switch branch. So let's check out prod. And now you can see that hello world.py shows up because it was pushed to prod. So in this case, I want to add a loop. Give a number. Then I want to call main. If I have num, in range num, then I want to just test. Okay. And this is repeat. And you can see the cool GitHub Copilot system that I have. So now you can see that I have stuff modified. So now I want to check out into dev. And you can see that you're getting changes overwritten. So I will use GitHub in this case. I can use GitHub Desktop to bring my changes to dev. I'll switch the branch. And then I'll go ahead and commit the changes through here. So let me come here, check out dev. Homework.py needs a merge. So let's go ahead and create and let's commit that to dev. And I'll push to the origin. Excellent. So now we have checked out a new branch, done the work, and then we can do git add and git commit. So now we are in prod. I do want to git checkout into dev. And then you can confirm that. You can see that it switched to dev. So now let's go ahead and add a new file, functions.py, function to add a number +1, and then I'll go add 1, test, add. Okay, now that I see and I test and save, I can see that my code works. Now I want to make those changes to the dev branch. So let's do git status. Functions.py needs to be added and committed. I'll use git add all my files. Then I want to make it a full commit. Git commit, added functions.py, add one with add one function. There you go. You get that confirmation. Check it again with git status. And there you go. Nothing to commit. You have a working tree. Then you can go ahead and push it to the origin by coming to your GitHub desktop and pushing to the origin. And again, you can use that in the command line and do that in the command line with the git push origin command. But my computer right now is having configuration and connection issues. Excellent. So we have gone through these 5 steps and done a general workflow in order to keep you on track and efficiently collaborating during your hackathon. So let's handle these merges all at once. So you have dev and prod. So let's compare and pull request. Merge pull request. My prod branch is now merged into main. Then I want to go ahead and merge my dev changes. And this is an example of a conflict. I'll still create a pull request, but I will have a conflict. So let's resolve those conflicts. And you can see that there's code that conflicts and cannot be easily merged. So we'll go ahead and get rid of the main tests and just add this test, as you can see. And then you'll want to add this above. And you're basically just cleaning up what code stands out of the way and is out of place. And there you go. So this can be a clean code now, and you want to commit the merge, and you're going dev branch to main. So checking here for mergeability, and let's merge dev, adding loop. There you go. We'll confirm that merge. Excellent. So now you have confirmation that both your prod branch can be safely deleted and your dev branch can be safely deleted. I could go ahead and delete my dev branch here, delete branch, and it's now been deleted, and you can immediately restore it with the github.com GUI, and that's excellent. So great, you have done all your work, and you can merge, and somebody else on their end can merge their work right into the master branch, the main branch, and that's exactly what you just did. Congratulations, you did it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. You now have a basic understanding of how to use Git and GitHub. I used VS Code. It should work with any IDE in updating files. And GitHub Desktop is a great tool. I use that more than the command line myself. I have other buddies that like the command line better just because it is quick. So excellent. Congratulations, and continue to have fun coding the world at HackRPI 2021. Take care.